We just looked at the Grotto of Leti in Libya, and it kind of reminded me of some books that I've read in the past. Actually, as I think about these, I'd kind of like to go back and reread some of them. But I thought maybe you'd be interested. So I have a list of books that kind of connect with some of the things we just talked about. Edith Hamilton was a scholar who wrote a considerable amount on mythology. In fact, she wrote a book called Mythology. It's kind of a popular one on the subject. She also wrote a book called The Greek Way. Both those are insightful. Now, mythology is mythology. There is no river Leti in reality, but it was important to the culture of the ancient Greeks. There were other books that were important to them that really molded and shaped their culture. Two we know quite well, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Both were written by Homer. And they really defined and described Greek culture, manly culture, the courageous culture of the early Greek culture. Great books, great stories, a lot of great lessons that come out of them. Other books that I can think of that I enjoyed was the Aeneid by Virgil. That has a Roman setting. It's not Greek necessarily, although it starts with a Greek, but it's really the history of the founding of Rome. Oedipus the King was written by Sophocles. He also wrote one called Antigone. I really love Antigone. It's a short play, but what it's doing is raising the question about where does authority to rule come from? If somebody says, hey, I'm the king and you got to do this or that, on whose authority can they say we have to do this or that? Sophocles is raising one huge issue, relevant today. Aristophanes had a lot of fun. He wrote one called The Clouds and another one called The Wasps. They're really just fun literature. They're plays. One of them is poking fun at Plato. And I think you would enjoy any of those books if you have time. Sometimes, particularly today where there's a lot going on in our country and we're kind of isolated one from another, these might be some interesting reads from the past to pass our time. As you read, I would suggest that you not only enjoy the literature for the purpose that it was written, but every one of those writers was trying to say something. They had an idea they were trying to get across. So as you read, ask yourself, what is the idea this author is trying to get across? Why is Aristophanes picking on Plato? Why is the book on Antigone so focused on government? So let your mind open up to be instructed by some deep thinkers from the past. And even though mythology is mythology, it's still fun. And there are practical lessons that come from mythology. So thank you.